All right, the next panel we want to build out here is this eye stay, and it's right there. And you'll notice, of course, that if I change this to wireframe, you'll notice that if we look through this, we can see that the eye stay has eyelets in it, and it also has stitching going around it. So when I thicken this panel, I want to accommodate for both of those things. So I'm just going to go ahead and turn off this saddle because I don't need that to be on. And let's see, the first thing I want to do, first thing I notice here is that we know that the more square or equal-sided the polygons are for drilling holes or creating holes within our object, the better off we are. So it's not such a parallelogram here, it's more of a square polygon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just do a little tweaking on this, and let's see here. If I grab an edge, I can grab an edge and slide it actually, so I can move it, but I want to set my action center to selection, and that's going to allow me to slide it right along just like that. So this is not such a big parallelogram. Now it might be that I want to work in, instead of wireframe, I might want to work in shaded mode or texture shaded, some other mode that lets me see it. But as was the last panel, it did kind of sink beneath the inner shell in some parts. So what I want to do real quick before I get too heavily into this is go to the deform panel, go down to push, and I'm going to click on the viewport, and I'm just going to push this out, and that's just going to lift everything out equally along its surface normal. Let's go and select some edges. I'll just speed through this process, and you can kind of follow along at your own pace. I think the next thing I want to do is go ahead and add a couple of edge loops on this surface to assist when I start creating the stitching. They will help act as a little trough for the stitches to sit in. So I'm just going to put one on each side here, and I'll add another one right about here. And now let's see what that looks like. I might need to slide those a little bit, and I'm good with that. Okay. Next thing, let's select these polygons and go ahead and bevel those guys. And same with this one, 2, 3. All right, so now I'm going to hit the B key for bevel. I'll go to my property tools, the K key, go to group polygons, don't need thicken. Everything looks good there except for segments, should be set to 1. And we are good. And I'm just going to just scale this in just a little bit. Sometimes you'll need to kind of over scale it. In other words, scale it in a little farther than you need, because when you delete those polygons, that hole's going to stretch out a little bit more. Okay. And since we have everything selected already, let's just go ahead and go to our deform tool. I'm going to drop that. Go to radial, click in the viewport, and those should be all perfectly square. Right down there. And yeah, I think we're good here. So I'm going to select that one, and that one. Hit the delete key, and there we go. All right. Next step is to drop this down inside the shoe. So we're going to go to the deform tab again, go to push, click in the viewport, and just push this down so that it is inside that shoe panel there. We're inside the inner shell. Now go to bevel, and I'm going to go ahead and pull this out a little bit right about there. Yeah, and I think this is working for the most part. We can come back later as we build and make some minor adjustments here and there. All right, now this might be sitting a bit proud, so I might want to just drop it down a little bit. Action center selection, and we'll just bring this down just a little. So yeah, I think we're good for now on the eye stay, and like I mentioned, we could come back later and continue tweaking this panel as we continue our build on the shoe.